Hello and welcome to Up the Turnpike, your source for New York Islanders content, both here on YouTube and over on Patreon, where we have our podcast that we do twice a week. That's patreon.com/Up the Turnpike. In this video, let's talk about the popularity of the Islanders general manager opening. Because I don't know if you were following, but last night something big happened for the New York Islanders. They won the first overall pick in the 2025 NHL Draft, baby. Oh, I'm so stoked about it. I don't know if you saw Matt and I's reaction when we were watching the NHL Draft Lottery live last night, but I was jumping and hollering, and I definitely pulled something in my leg. My leg is wildly sore today. It's not going to be good today for me as I play hockey later on. So it's going to be a rough day, but I don't care because the Islanders, I'm going to keep saying this throughout the video, won the first overall selection in the 2025 NHL Draft. Can't friggin' wait, guys. It's going to be awesome. But with that in mind, how much more popular is the Islanders general manager opening? Honestly, I don't think it's that much more popular. I think it was already pretty goddamn popular to begin with. We have to remember that this is one of 32 jobs like this in the world. So right there and then, it's wildly popular when one of those becomes available, as it did on the island when they didn't extend Lou Lamoriello or renew his contract or whatever the terminology you want to use. But outside of that, we have to think of the context of the job itself. Like, this new general manager isn't stepping in to make marginal gains to this team. Kind of like when Brad Treliving joined the Toronto Maple Leafs. You know, where they got rid of Kyle Dubas, they brought in Brad Treliving. It was for marginal gains. The Leafs were already a regular season success. That was undeniable every year. No problems in the regular season. It's going in after that. Once they get to the playoffs, can they get a general manager to craft this team to build them into something more than what they had done? Marginal gains. That's not going to be the case for the New York Islanders. You can argue marginal gains in terms of going from non-playoff to playoff, but that's only a small factor in this job opening. The job posting, if you will, is going to have a whole bunch of things that this new general manager has to do. They really have to redevelop basically the entire business side of the operation, from probably scouts to directors. I don't know why I had Chris Terreri highlighted here. That's nothing to do with him. From special assignments coaches to goalie coaches to the actual coach and Patrick Roy himself to assistant general managers as well. Like, what happens to Chris Lamoriello now that Lou Lamoriello is supposed to be gone? What happens to Steve Pellegrini? Joanna's probably going to stay because she's an absolute goat. But outside of that, like, this new general manager is going to have their thumb on just about every aspect of the Islanders organization, which isn't necessarily the case for someone like Brad Treliving going to Toronto. I'm just using that as an example. Of course, any new general manager hire is going to be able to appoint the people he or they want to appoint in the specific jobs they want to, from analytics to scouting to coaching. That's always going to be the case no matter what. But in some cases, that doesn't need to happen, right? Again, looking at the Toronto Maple Leafs, they didn't need to redevelop their pro scouting side. They didn't need to redevelop their entire analytics department, although I don't know if the Islanders need to do that. But it's a possibility. They don't need to redo their entire coaching staff, although they still did that. The Islanders absolutely have to do that. And it goes beyond just the New York Islanders. You also have to change the Bridgeport Islanders, who were historically bad last year. So you have you have to put your thumb on so much of this organization that right there and then, wildly popular position. It also necessitates a couple of years of a contract, if you will. I'm stumbling on my words. I wanted to say mandate, but I stumbled the way I wanted to say it. Whatever new GM is going to have a mandate for a while. They're going to step in and say, you're going to have a 5-year window to fix not just this team on ice, but the organization as a whole. So right then, you got job security and you got the ability to reshape the entire organization. Super popular right there and then. And then you add the actual playing staff, like the actual team itself, right? While objectively, they were a bad team last year, right? There's no lies there. They were a bad team. but there's still good elements to this team. Like, you still have guys like Bo Horvat. You still have Matthew Barzal, Ilya Sorokin. You still have Noah Dobson. I don't know why I did all three, but whatever. You still have Noah Dobson. And then you still have Callum Ritchie. And this first overall pick that you're going to take, whoever it happens to be, from Schaefer to Misa to Higgins. That's a lot of pieces that you now have on this team to reshape going forward. Whether that turns this team into a playoff team year one remains to be seen. The possibility is certainly there. They almost made it last year, and they were, again, an objectively bad team. But you're giving this new GM a lot of pieces to reshape the actual playing squad, on top of everything else outside of the actual playing squad. There's a lot to like here. So for any perspective or anyone who wants to become a GM, they're going to look at this opening and start salivating at the mouth. There's so much here for them to do, for them to work on, that this is going to be a wildly popular position, which kind of sucks for the Islanders in only one very specific regard. They're going to have so much interest that they're going to have to really kind of hone in and focus on who they want quickly. They don't have the time, I would imagine, to sift through absolutely every single candidate that comes their way. They're just not going to be able to. They need to have this new president of hockey operations hired within the month, and then have the new GM hired within the next month after that, because the draft is in a month-ish from today, right? End of June is when the draft is going to happen. I think it's 27th is the first day of the draft, which, again, the Islanders have a big role to play there because they're drafting first overall in the 2025 NHL Draft. Just saying it makes me feel like I'm drinking a fresh cup of coffee, which I am. It's just warm all the way down, right into my cold Canadian heart. It's so good to hear this all over again. But again, it comes back to the point that this position will be wildly popular. The Islanders are going to be able to get the pick of the litter. They're going to be able to take the guy that they absolutely want to fill this job. Who that is obviously remains to be seen, but we don't have to be like, oh, it's the Islanders, no one wants to come here. That is not the case. This is the Islanders. Everyone wants to come here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe button, please do so. Like any YouTube channel out there, we say it for a reason. It helps us grow the channel. If you can't support us financially directly, that's totally okay. This is the best way for you to support this channel, by hitting the like and subscribe button. If you've done it already, thank you. And if you haven't yet, what are you waiting for?